Hello, my name is Stephen Richardville. This is assignment 3.1 for advanced statistics, fall 2023. As I share my screen today, we're going to be doing for assignment 3.1, we're going to be doing an ANOVA test, analysis of variance test, on the statewide school district data for regions 1, 2, and 5 to see if there is significant difference in the enrollment data for that. So let's go ahead and go to our statewide school district data. And the first thing you want to do before you do an ANOVA test is to actually make sure that the conditions are met. Now, in this assignment, we're supposed to assume that they are, but just in case, we go to data, come down here to select cases. This is important anyway. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're only looking at regions 1, 2, and 5. So we want 1 or region 2 or, oops, need an equals in there, or region equals 5. So if I do that, I should be able to continue here, and those conditions are met then. And what we want to do is make sure that real quick, before we get started on this data set, that region 1 is good, region 2 is good, but when we get down here to 3 and 4, they are crossed out. 3 and 4 are gone, but we're back to 5 and we're good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is talk about the data. So let's go to descriptive statistics and analyze. Let's explore. We're now exploring and looking at enrollment data for the regions, but specifically only regions 1, 2, and 5, as we just limited those cases. When we do this, we want to look at histogram, and we really want the normality. We don't need this. And see if we're good there. Okay. We'll check in. All right. And now let's go ahead and look at our data. And what we're going to do is first just see if the conditions are met, even though we're assuming. I would like to talk about the fact that the N values are a little bit of a concern. The region 1 is 72, region 2 is 66, but there's 23 down here for region 5. For the sample size, the N value being under 30 is a bit of a concern to do the analysis of variance test, but we're going to do it anyway. Also, if we go down here and look at our test of normality, these numbers should really be above 0.05. Since they're below 0.05, then again, we would have some concerns about doing the analysis of variance test, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway, despite those being below 0.05. You're looking for ideally above 0.05 here, and ideally all of these above 30. Okay, so now that we're going to go ahead and close that out because we've done that exploration, we're going to go ahead and actually perform the analysis of variance test by comparing means and proportions and doing a one-way analysis of variance. Once again, we're looking at enrollment with region as our factor here. We're going to do our post hoc, and typically here we would pick 2 key, but that would be if the N values are the same. The N values are not the same, so we're going to do SIDAC. We're going to look at the SIDAC test, and we want homogeneity of variance. So when we do our options, we want homogeneity of variance, and we're going to go ahead and perform this ANOVA test. Now, this is a little bit interesting because, again, based on the mean, this number really should be above 0.05. It is below 0.05, which means as I go to my analysis of variance, as this number is now above 0.05 and it should be below 0.05, we would have to accept the null hypothesis, being that there is no significant difference in the means of enrollment. To reject the null hypothesis, ideally this number would be bigger than 0.05, and the significance number here in the ANOVA would be smaller than 0.05, but it is indeed bigger. So in this case, we'd actually accept the null hypothesis that there is no difference. But for the sake of this assignment, we also want to come down here to post hoc tests and just look at the comparison between region 1 and 2, 1 and 5, 2 and 5, as 2 and 1 are redundant here. If you look at all these significant numbers, they're all bigger than 0.05. Ideally, those are smaller than 0.05 to tell me that there is a significant difference between those means. But here, again, the null hypothesis would be accepted. There is no significant difference because all these numbers are greater than 0.05. Okay, that's assignment 3, the ANOVA test for regions 1, 2, and 5. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.